As a gentleman, Dean Alejandro here. I hope everyone is having a great day. We are going to announce the giveaway for the month of July's GC2B binder giveaway. Yes. Before I go ahead and I dive into that, because a lot of people right now, they know pretty much what's going on. You know, every month I'm doing a giveaway. You know it's from GC2B. You kind of know the rules and the regulations with that. Um, this month I want to do it a little bit differently because I've had a lot of people previously that weren't able to basically enter because maybe they weren't out or safety reasons like that. So I really want to make this month's giveaway easier for everyone. The giveaway is for anyone in the world, worldwide. Um, it's gonna probably take a little bit of time to get the item out to you. GC2B is sending it. If you are out of the country, out of the United States, just because with COVID-19 and with everything that's happening, there are delays. But GC2B is doing a really good job at being very transparent, sending you the shipping information, the tracking information, and it's completely customizable. Before I dive into that and some of the specifics, which I'll just kind of recap on, I really want to go ahead and talk about something that I went through recently. Sorry, he was meowing. So I really want to talk about something that I went through recently, which is traveling. And I travel a decent amount. In the past, I travel, domestically, I travel internationally. And being a trans person, there are sometimes complications, if you want to call it that, or sometimes it's difficult getting through TSA or a couple of different things like that. I've done some Packer reviews and I've also done some underwear reviews that have kind of coincided with getting through TSA and security like that. But my most recent experience with flying, it was domestic and I had a completely different experience. And that kind of reminded me of the most recent time, other than this past trip, that I traveled in January to the same exact place, to and from, and I had the same experience. So I was kind of wondering if maybe it was a fluke, sometimes going through different security checkpoints, whether, it's domestically or internationally traveling, it's always a little bit different. So the fact that the, departure and arrivals like were the same destinations, and I was doing the same types of things but getting a different result, that's what was kind of throwing me off. I always get a lot of anxiety going through TSA because I get randomly flagged. Even before I transitioned, I had a lot of like facial piercings and stuff, and I always randomly got chosen to get searched, right? So I'm going to talk about what happened the first time in January when I traveled, and then I'm going to talk about my most recent experience, and then I'm going to talk about the two together and what I think is my understanding as to what happened. Spoiler alert, it is all due to what I was using to pack downstairs. Okay, so when I traveled in January, I went to Florida for my grandpa's funeral, and I have always traveled with Rodeo's packing briefs. They are my favorite. They are very comfortable, and the packer just fits. I typically use the Mr. Limpy. This recent trip, I was using the Sailor one that I was featuring on my giveaway, and I those aren't the differences between the two packers itself are really the base. As for the size, they're kind of the same. So I use the smaller size. That way, it kind of stays in place. It doesn't jumble around and it keeps it more secure, right? If you are not familiar with that, I have also done videos in the past with more specifics and placement and all that. I don't want to get too much into it right now because it's not the point of this video, in my personal opinion. So basically, I would always use the Rodeo packing briefs to pack because it is very easy, very comfortable, and I've never had an issue, asterisk, up until that time that I started realizing that it basically was flagging me through TSA. So let me elaborate. When I use the packing briefs from Rodeo, it has the pouch right in the front. I should have got it, sorry. But there's a pouch right in front. You can put your packer right there and it sits. Now, when you go through TSA, you have to go and you have to stand up in this little thing and it like shoots around you, whatever. I noticed, and this is basically out of 3 out of 4 times traveling domestically within 6 months, if I have used that, they were able to tell that there was something in my pants that was not, I don't want to say normal, but that's the word that they use. That basically wasn't there. So anytime that I used that combination, I would get flagged, in which they would ask you, Do you want to go back into a room? Do you want to do this here? Do you want to whatever? I have to get like all up in your bits basically. And I, being me, say, do it here because my wife is here and there's witnesses. God forbid something happens. Plus, I've had terrible experiences. I've heard terrible experiences from management of TSA that have talked about other prosthetic and other things like that, horror stories back when, which I can also discuss in a different video. But basically, and it happened again. It happened multiple times. They had to go up and feel everything. And of course, they didn't look or anything, but they were able to tell that I wasn't hiding anything. So when I used the Rodeo packing briefs, basically to sum up that first story, they were able to tell that something foreign was there, right? Okay. Now, this most recent trip that I had to go, I went unexpectedly, so I wasn't able to take those briefs that I wanted. So I was a little nervous about traveling without them, since that's usually, like I said, my go-to for it. And which was really interesting because this time going through TSA, I did not get flagged at all. All 4 times. I did not get flagged for, which I normally do, of doing this whole thing. It checks around and it says, hey, there's something in your pants that shouldn't be there, right? So the only thing that I did really differently is I used a different packer, which that does not make it at all because it's just the base that's really different compared to the Mr. Limpy versus the Sailor, right? Now, what I did differently, and I kind of realized that they didn't see as there's something else in his pants, is that I basically packed how I do on my like ghetto DIY like spandex style, where I take an old pair of underwear and I put the packer on, I put the old pair of underwear on, and then I put spandex on underneath, and it really keeps it tight. That way I don't have to worry about finicking and going all with that. Now, I did that the first time, and I wore this shirt. Shout out to Genuine Valentine. I will be putting a coupon code below, 10% off, that made this awesome shirt. Right? Now, I wore this because I have to wear a mask throughout traveling, and I didn't want any fucking shit because they couldn't see my beard or anything. So I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna wear this, they're gonna know, whatever. So initially going through security, I thought, oh, it's because of the shirt, it's because of this. But then I remembered that in the past, I wasn't wearing a mask and I still got flagged. So on the way back, I kind of experimented again with, I didn't wear this shirt, I wore a different type, I wore a rainbow shirt, and I did the same thing. I did the old underwear, the packer, the old underwear, and the spandex, keeping it all tight. And I did not get flagged. So I have basically realized through going through this that putting the spandex all together keeps it all up together. So that was my experience. Now, if you want to enter this giveaway for the binder, all you have to do is in the comments below share an experience that you have gone through while traveling, while going through TSA. It doesn't have to be trans specific, and I will be letting you know who I pick. Have a great day. Make sure you subscribe. Take care.